Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The feature race at Saratoga on Sunday is the Grade 3 Shuvee Stakes for fillies and mares going 1 1/8 miles, carded as race number 9. For DRF Bets members, become Weekend Warriors. Join the Weekend Warrior bonus series, and here's how you play. You bet $25 on one horse to win in race number 1 at Saratoga and or Del Mar each Saturday and Sunday, and you get a $10 bonus, win or lose, and you can accrue bonus points leading up to later in the summer. It's a really fun and intriguing Weekend Warrior bonus series. Here's the field for the Shuvee, fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up. Chad Brown very well represented. He's got a mystery horse in here, Matt. The number 4 Wowcat is 8-5 on the morning line. More importantly, she is 8 for 8 in her career in her native Chile. And the way Chad's been talking about this horse, you know, Chad really doesn't like to talk these horses up. He's talking this horse up.
Yeah, Chad's usually not one for superlatives, but it seems like that's what you continue to get from him regarding Wildcat. I mean, look, the fact that she's 8 for 8, that alone speaks volumes. But the closest margin of victory is a nose. Otherwise, she's only beaten her company by 3.5 lengths or more. I mean, she's absolutely decimated Fields' Group 1 races down in Chile. Who knows? Look, you never know until they get up here what they're going to do and what they're capable of doing. Sounds like she's been working very nicely in the morning, I believe, mostly with Pacific Wind, who's also in this race. I mean, look, would it surprise me at all? I think the other good thing for Wildcat, it's not like she's facing a field full of killers. This is probably about as good a spot to get your feet wet in a graded stakes race. And if she gets through this with flying colors, then who knows? The sky's the limit.
But she's going to have to do it off almost a, 8-month layoff, going 1 1/8 miles, which is never easy. It'll be interesting to see what her running style is going to be. Lasix on, John Velasquez on as well for the North American debut. And as a South American 4-year-old, I mean, she's basically a 3-year-old taking on older horses here in the Northern Hemisphere. So perhaps some things to keep an eye on concerning Wowcat, but this horse might have a wow factor. Todd Pletcher's got Ivy Bell in here, and we've got a good formulator fact for Todd. When do we ever have a bad one? Let's take a look at that formulator fact right now for the 5 Ivy Bell. Past 4 years, older graded stakes dirt routers off a 45 to 60 day layoff. We got 31% winners, a $2.32 ROI. You and I are big fans of Ivy Bell, and she tried her heart out last time out to no avail against champion Abel Tasman in the Grade 1 Ogden Phipps. The issue with Ivy Bell's distance, she's going to be stretching out around 2 turns for the first time in her 19 race career. It'll be 19 races on Sunday, and 1 1/8 miles just might be a little bit too long, but she can be expected to give a good solid performance.
Yeah, I would expect her to come with her usual solid effort. I think it is interesting to hear Pletcher say that the goal is actually the ballerina, and this is just sort of not a means to an end, but it's just to find out if she can handle 2 turns. She's never done it before in her career. I think that was the thing that made the Phipps as interesting as it was. Sure, it was 1 1/16 and it was a route race, but it was still 1 turn, the configuration. Now you've got to go 2 turns. And there's just a part of me that doesn't necessarily believe that this is really going to be her game. Wouldn't be surprised if she took to it, but it's one of those things, as maybe the 2nd or 3rd choice. I don't really love it.
Curious pace play on the outside, perhaps. That's Farrell, who might be getting back into her best form. She has paired up Beyer tops in her last 2 races. And as we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, there is a chance that she can get to the lead. And that blue bar on our pace projector indicates that Timeform US believes that the Shuvee will favor horses on or near the early lead. Now, Farrell had a loose lead last time out in the Fleur de Lis. I'm not sure if that Churchill Downs track was playing great to speed. She's got to get loose. She's got to hope this Wowcat isn't a super horse, but she's okay.
Yeah, she's all right. She probably deserves a little bit more credit than I've ever given her credit for, because she shows up, and look, she's 7 of 16 lifetime, and she's hit the board on 4 other occasions. My concern is twofold. Look, even if she does get out there and she finds a soft, easy lead, she's kind of had that in each of these past 2 races, and that bothers me. The bigger piece is that 1 1/8 miles, I just don't think that's really what she is. I think she's much more of a miler, 1 1/16 at most, even with the favorable pace situation. I understand why they're here, and I think she is an interesting sort of longer price in a spot like this because of that tactical advantage. I don't like her at the distance, and I really just don't think that she's quite this good.
And I think a third concern, and we should always handicap the pace projector, is that the number 1 Frost Wise, the New York bred, has speed as well and draws inside. And I do realize they're taking the blinkers off, but she's shown speed lead without blinkers in the past, most notably in that Top Flight Invitational, 2 starts back at a mile and an eighth, where she went a pretty good pace, only to be run down by Blue Prize in the stretch, and Blue Prize would have fit very well in this spot. I think Frost Wise can at least maybe take some of the starch out of Farrell and set things up for a stalker or a late runner. Verb's Tail, I thought, was ridden curiously last time out by Arad Ortiz in the Grade 3 DuPont Distaff. She was involved in a pace duel with Blue Prize pretty much around the track, and that's not Verb's Tail's running style. I'm not sure she loved the sloppy track either. I'm willing to draw a line through that race, but Matt, it's Verb's Tail. How many times does she have to break our heart?
No, I mean, really, that's what it boils down to. I mean, Verb's Tail to me is just always a horse that I don't mean this in necessarily a bad way, but she's a bit of an underachiever. It looks like she probably should have a few more things and accolades to her name than she does. She's 3 of 20 lifetime, but you see that she likes to run second and third quite often. I suppose it is a positive here, though, that she likes Saratoga. She's never been out of the exacta in 2 starts up at the spot. And this distance, I don't think it's ideal for her, but it certainly doesn't preclude her from running well. She's won at it twice. I think she's better a little bit shorter, probably a 1-turn configuration, similar to Ivy Bell. But she's Verb's Tail.
Don't think the track and pace situation worked in Tiger Moth's favor last time out in the Grade 1 La Troyenne, went in against Salty and Alusa on the lead Farrell. It's just that after she won the Houston Ladies Classic, her Beyer speed figures have dropped below 90 now for 3 consecutive races. And I would have to think it's going to take at least a 90 to win this race. Plus, she is a one-run closer that needs some racing luck.
Yeah, she'll need a barbecue up front. I've never been a big fan of Tiger Moth, and really, you strip out that Houston Ladies Classic, she's never Beyered above 90 in her career, and this is just a situation where, to me, if I'm going to be using her, underneath only.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Shuvee. Listen, if Wildcat lives up to the height, she's probably going to win this race. She's just not my kind of horse if she goes off at even money or thereabouts, and this is probably the right field for her to make her North American Graded Stakes debut. You'll take Chad's other horse, a horse that's been working with Wildcat. Let's talk a little bit about Pacific Wind. I have to admit, I thought her Phipps was good. They tried to win that race.
And really, that's kind of the big piece for me. I picked her in the Phipps, and you know what? On the far turn for a minute, I said, here she comes. She's going to take over from Abel Tasman and just go on with it. And look, Abel Tasman's arguably the best older female that we have in the United States. I like that Chad is even saying that. He goes, you know what? Irad wrote her to instruction. Take your shot. Try to go at her. And you know what? It didn't work out. I think now you're going to get some other pace in there. I think she reverts back to that running style that she showed 2 starts back when she run the Ruffian out at Belmont. And again, look, Wildcat, maybe she's just better than her. But there's a scenario where if Pacific Wind can run a 93 or a 94 Beyer on Sunday, I think she's got a big chance to win this thing.
I think Ivy Bell's in career form for Pletcher right now. We mentioned the major issue. That's the mile and an eighth. Todd won this race in 2016 with Carolina, a horse that could certainly go a mile and an eighth. Ivy Bell last time out on the lead in the Phipps, being pressed by Abel Tasman. I don't think that's her style. There is going to be speed, and she'll be sitting in behind. Whether she gets the mile and an eighth, that's a big question. 3-1 on the morning line, a little bit light. I need her to drift. I need this Wildcat to take all of the money. Maybe if Ivy Bell drifts up in that 4-1, 9-2 range, I'll take a chance with her because, again, she's a very dependable sort that usually shows up with a good effort. Wildcat, the intriguing runner in the Grade 3 Shuvee. Matt will take a shot with Pacific Wind. I'll go with Ivy Bell. And if you're playing at home, just consider that Weekend Warrior Series. Remember, this is for DRF Bets members only. You bet $25 on one horse to win in race number 1 at Saratoga and or Del Mar each Saturday and Sunday, and you receive a $10 bonus, win or lose, and you accrue points for later in the Saratoga and Del Mar meets. Approximate post time for the Grade 3 Shuvee on Sunday, 5:40 Eastern. Good luck.